Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to. I'm sorry, I'm doing the intro dance. Well, we're getting ready to start today's broadcast. Today is Saturday. It is Saturday, or as we had a very eloquent quote here from Raymond just at the beginning, Sabadaba Doo, which is, of course, a Scooby Doo thing. No, it's a Flintstones thing. But in Spanish, sometimes we refer to Saturday or Sábado as Sabadaba. So today is Sabadaba, and of course, we are here at Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live on Facebook, where we examine all kinds of headlines from our city, state, and country, knowledge that we want to know more about. And today's broadcast is perfect. Hold on. Okay, so I say it's perfect and I had two coughs. So it's not quite perfect, but it is perfect in design because we have good news, we have bad news, we have culture, we have shade, and we have funny. So in theory, today should be a perfectly lovely day. We'll see how it goes. It is a pleasure to see you as always. It is a pleasure to read your beautiful comments. And we'll get to all of those comments on the second half of the broadcast as usual. But before we get started with the news, as you know, if you are new, don't be shy. We don't bite. We scratch, but we don't bite. So if you are new and you want to let us know that you are new, just write the word new in your comment and we'll give you a nice friendly welcome, we promise. And of course, if there is something that you find irresistible to bring up, just add a Q so that I know that you are having something important to say. Like Sly has very nicely said, Q, try to renew my yearly membership, no such option available. We'll get to that in a second, Sly. Actually, you don't need to renew because you get renewed automatically, which is a can of worms because sometimes folks forget that they get renewed automatically and then they get the bill and they're like, oh shit, I forgot to cancel that Paco and I cannot stand those broadcasts. What am I going to do? So what do? You get in touch with PayPal and say, well, no, I didn't mean to pay this. And then PayPal gets in touch with me and says, well, we have a disgruntled customer. And I go, well, whatever, if they don't want to stay here, that's okay. That's okay. So short of it is you don't need to worry about your renewal because you get renewed automatically. But if you are curious as to the date in which you're supposed to renew, you can get that information from Buy Me a Coffee, or you can write me directly. Send me a note and say, Paco, when am I renewing? Can you let me know? Because I've decided I like you very much and we'd like to continue supporting the broadcast. On the flip side of that, if you say, Paco, we're tired of this shit, we don't want to support you anymore, that's okay too. Just let me know and we'll get you all squared away. So, all that said, I think we've taken care of all the necessary stuff. Let's dive into the news. No big whoop, right, Luna? No big whoop. Okay, so we start with this. The Secretary of Health has once again updated the national COVID 19 risk stoplight indicator for the next couple of weeks. And we find an increasing number of states, now 20, in the green zone or low risk zone. This is a good thing. Yes, yes, yes. There are 11 states in the yellow or moderate risk zone, including the state of Jalisco. That is, we didn't get better, we didn't get worse, according to the numbers. We were in the yellow before, we continue to be in the yellow. One single state, Baja California Norte, is in the orange or high risk zone. So there are no places, no states in Mexico with maximum risk at present time. Let us hope we keep this up and don't mess it up during the holiday season this coming December, because you may recall that last year we got a little comfy and in January things got a little ugly. So this is good news. This is very, very good news. Now, and it will continue to be good news if we, keep our shit together and continue to follow the guidelines that we know so well. Now, moving on, we frequently discuss sewage because, well, sewage is a problem, and it shouldn't be. Sewage should run through pipes and stay there, and the organization responsible for this to happen, as we know, is SEAPAL. SEAPAL, in case you don't know, is an organization that is run by the municipality, and the municipality has just started a new administration, and the new administration is tightening the leash on hotels and condo buildings that are late paying the fee that you have to pay to move the caca water from one place to another. Or did you think the caca water moves out of our toilets for free? It doesn't. This article mentions, for example, the Marigold Hotel in Playa Los Muertos. Apparently, they have not paid their SEAPAL caca water bill since July 2004 and now owe more than 3 million pesos in past payments. In fact, delinquent notices have been delivered to hotels, condos, and industrial entities around the city that have a combined debt to SEAPAL of 24,493,915 pesos. Is it a coincidence that the Marigold Hotel is owned by the same nice man who used to be the city controller in the past administration and who disappeared last weekend, only to reappear a couple of days later without further explanation? I have no idea. All I know is if you owe SEAPAL money, if your condo building owes SEAPAL money, you may want to pay for your SEAPAL bill, because otherwise the caca will not move. Okay, so back to our administration having money or not. We talked about this in a few days ago when the new administration came. They're like, well, we don't have money to meet payroll. And that continues to be a good question, whether they have money or not, because yesterday was the middle of the month, or quincena, which is a word that comes from the number quince, or 15. And since many employees pay salaries twice a month, city employees were anxiously waiting for their salary to be deposited in their bank accounts. And this article indicates that as of 3 p.m. yesterday, city employees had not been paid. And that usually their salary is actually deposited on the 14th or 2 days ago. Not a friendly way to start the new administration, if you ask me. We certainly hope that city employees got paid before the end of the day yesterday, because, we put our faith in the new administration, and the new administration is supposed to deliver. So let us just hope that the city will pay for salaries of its hard-working employees. We have reports of more businesses closing down in El Centro, Marina Vallarta, and other popular touristy neighborhoods, leaving entire blocks empty, or rather full of for rent signs. Why is this happening? Well, many lot owners would rather see their properties empty rather than offer businesses that are late paying rent and offering them any kind of options. And this is a sad cultural, weird reality of our city. I don't know if this happens in other places in Mexico, but it is sad to see that all these property owners either don't have the skill sets or the culture to negotiate with renters, and the renters don't have the skill set to negotiate. Long story short, a lot of these business owners, not business owners, these building owners, they just don't want to cooperate with the fact that we're going through a difficult period, and some shop owners would like to have some alternatives to paying their rent. So it is unfortunate to see that this is happening. And thank you, Gwen. I appreciate the context because, it is interesting to see that this is not only happening here in Puerto Vallarta. How sad it is that that a city full of for rent signs just does not look like a live, living, prospering city. But I just thought I would mention this to you so that you understood that this is not an isolated incident. Unfortunately, landlords get this way, and what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We're going to take a look at the weather just to see if we can go out and have a good day today. That cloud looks like Kirk and Spock making out. Oh my God, just the thought of it makes me cringe. It is 28 degrees. What do you mean 28 degrees? We're supposed to be dropping those numbers. It is 28 degrees right now. Feels like 33. Humidity is at 86%. And our temperature in Fahrenheit, for those of you that are Fahrenheit fans, is 82 degrees. What can we expect for today? Well, we are going to have, according to the weather forecast, rain in the evening, a high temperature of 32 and a low temperature of 24. Tomorrow, Sunday, it'll be humid throughout the day with a high temperature of 32, low temperature of 23. And we begin next week with humidity throughout the day, a high temperature of 31 and a low temperature of 23. And look at all those juicy comments you guys are throwing at us, which I love. We'll get to those in a second. But first, I want to show you something beautiful. Where is she? Ah, here she is. Do you recognize this flower? This is Tagetes erecta, or Mexican marigold, a species of flowering plant native to Mexico, found in the wild in the states of Mexico, Michoacán, Puebla, and Veracruz. But of course, this is no ordinary marigold. The Aztecs gathered the wild plant as well, and as well as cultivating it for medicinal, ceremonial, and decorative purposes. They called it cempasúchil. Well, actually, we call it cempasúchil, which is a derivative of the Nahuatl word Sempohualtzochitl, which means 20 flowers. And parenthetically, the second half of the word Xochitl, or flower, is still a commonly used name for women. And of course, although it grows in the wild, it is harvested through farming all over Mexico and in beautiful fields that rival the most gorgeous lavender fields in France. Why do we harvest it? Well, because this is the flower that we use to commemorate Day of the Dead. So there are cempasúchil growers going nuts in anticipation for this year's Day of the Dead. They've been, harvesting and growing and harvesting and getting ready. But of course, this presents a problem because last year was difficult for growers due to the pandemic, and this year it may be a little better. But growers, many of which are located in the area of Xochimilco in Mexico City, are cautious about their ability to position and sell their harvest of what is, without a doubt, one of the most important icons of Day of the Dead. And just in case you thought all that orange you see in our stores this time of year was pumpkin or Halloween related, sorry to burst your bubble, it isn't. All the orange is first and foremost about this beautiful native Mexican flower. Is there a little bit of pumpkin and Halloween influence in our stores? You bet. But do keep in mind that it all started with this beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous flower, which we call cempasúchil. So you try saying that before you start drinking beer this afternoon, and then try the word after you drink your beers, and let's see how your Nahuatl improves with alcohol. Let's see. Let's see what else we have. Oh my God, we have a game. We have a game to play. Do you want to play a game? Please say that you want to play a game because I've prepared a game today. We haven't played this game for a while. So just before we get into your comments, how about we play You Cannot Call Yourself a Puerto Vallarta English Speaking Local Until You Have Blank. So, as you know, here at Coffee and Headlines, we defend our localness. We defend that we live here or that our heart is here. We defend that there's certain rites of passages that we need to go through in order to authentically call ourselves locals. And no, John, we're not going to play the squid game. We're going to play the fill in the blank game. So, because we care about this badge of pride, of this badge of localness that we love, what things are we supposed to do? We've talked about a few of them. We've talked about going to taco stands. We've talked about going to the top of the Monumento de la Cruz. Oh, eat menudo. There you go. Sheila is playing the game. Not everybody has eaten menudo, so we like that. Let's see what else you guys come up with. We've talked about you can. Oh, there you go, Dave. Thank you very much. Stood in line at a bank, of course. That is a stretch, Carol, but it is always nicely appreciated. Oh, you're not a local until you're cooled yourself off in the fruit and vegetable cooler in Costco. I am blocking the comments. Let me see if I can avoid that. Oh, Christy, of course you are qualified to play because you are enough of a local. Yes, you are. You're not a local until you've tipped the bagging people. Thank you. Until you eat pozole. There you go. Well, yeah, I have to grant you that. Given my recent experience, you're not a local until you've walked a mile in high heels. Dale says, you're not a local until you've sharpened your knives from the guy with the bike and the whistle. Oh, Chris says, gone shopping until using only the bus for transportation. I love it. You're not a local until you volunteer. Colleen, that's a good spirit. You're not a local until you go to the mercado and have fish tacos. I like that. Oh, yes. You're not a local until you've eaten birria at Tio Toño, which makes me think, oh my God, I'm ready to go there. Oh, that's a good one, Matthew. You're not a local until you've eaten cactus salad. Yeah, it is slimy and but some people love it. I don't like it very much. You're not a local until you carry a sweat rag with you in the summer. You know, Mike, I'm a kindred spirit because not only do I carry my sweat rags everywhere, I now crochet them for myself. So there. Let's see. Meggie as in Peggy says, mile in high heels on cobblestone streets. Good call. Oh my God, what a good one. You're not a local until you have won the baby Jesus from the Rosca. And if you don't know what that means, you are not a local, but you can ask. You can ask. Just write the word Rosca in your comments, and we will definitely explain. What? You cannot do that, Joanne, until you drink beer at the library as you check out books. Can you actually do that? I didn't even know that they had beer at the library. You're not a local until you wake up to the sound of roosters and dogs barking. I would amend that and say you're not a local until you wake up to the sound of roosters and dogs barking and it doesn't bother you. That would be my contribution to that. These are lovely. These are lovely. Oh, Chris cuts to the chase. You're not a local until you properly accent año instead of ano when you say Feliz Año Nuevo. It's año, as in with an ñ, and it's not ano, which means anus, which is a different thing. You are not a local until you've rescued at least one dog or cat. Thank you, Candace. Um, let me explain to you why we're doing this. You're not a local until you shop at your local markets for fish, shrimp, veggies, and fruits. That is sweet, Gliadri. I love it. Um, Oh, there you go. You're not a local until you hear the bells of the cathedral going off without any known reason. Well, that happens all the time. See, the reason we're doing this, thank you very much for your lovely contributions, is we, as in you and I, are going to gift Puerto Vallarta a laundry list of local rituals that we are hoping to publish before New Year's so that we can all start next year with a good checklist of the things that we can consider. This is not mandatory, but some people like to call themselves locals and they haven't done some very basic stuff, which is okay. You know, we're not going to shade that. But if we can help out our community with offering some practical, concise suggestions of things that they can do, things that we can all do to become more local, I think that's a good idea, and I hope you agree with me. And the beautiful thing about this is that it's a growing list. I mean, I find myself doing local things that I've never done before, and I've been here for almost 20 years. This year, I will celebrate my 20th year. So I hope nobody is holding that against me if occasionally I do something for the first time. And I'm so grateful for your contributions. I'm going to add these suggestions to others that I'm putting together in a big list so that we can all share at the end of the year. Sounds good? I hope so. Anyhow, let me now take a look at some of your comments. It is great to hear from you. And it's great to receive all your good mornings. I am having a good morning today. We slept very well last night. It's getting cooler in the morning. I don't know if you've noticed that. I certainly hope you have, because it's getting cooler. Again, Slide, do let me know. I will be happy to check when your membership is supposed to renew automatically, so that you can anticipate the fact that PayPal will charge you automatically. Just drop me a line using the contact form, and you should be all set. Let's see what else we have. Dave says, how was dinner last night? Oh my God, dinner was delightful, and we even had a comedian. Well, it was not a comedian. It was a strange, how do I explain this? You know, you go and have a conversation, you go and have dinner and have conversations with your friends, and you expect that you're having a conversation with your friends and all the other tables are having their own conversations. And but apparently last night there was this particular customer at the restaurant where we were who was by herself and quite interested in our conversation. And towards the end of dinner, she couldn't resist, and she got off her table and she started asking us very specific questions about our conversation. And at the beginning, it felt lovely, but then it's like you've had a dinner that was an hour and a half long or whatever, and all of a sudden you realize that somebody has been very painstakingly listening to every word you've been saying. So it was weird. We tried to, and she wanted to have more information. So finally we said, look, your questions are lovely. We'd love to answer them, but we are on our way out. And we parted kindly, but it was weird and funny and comedic. And it's part of the flavors of this town as far as I'm concerned. Question lady aside, dinner at Siam Cuisine was absolutely wonderful. The company was lovely. It was my friend Logan and myself, along with two couples. One of the couples I met through Coffee and Headlines, and the other couple happened to be our cluster friend, Michael Young, the opera singer who has moved to Puerto Vallarta, and I had the opportunity to meet him and his husband, and it was absolutely delightful. And this is what we do. It is nice to find opportunities to connect with cluster members whenever possible. So that was dinner. Dave asks, isn't agua and sewer paid with the prediales? That's a good question, Dave. I have no idea because I'm not a property owner. All I know is that SEAPAL is owed money, whether it is because they haven't paid predial or they haven't paid the SEAPAL bill. I don't know. I don't get one. All I know is that there are people that are delinquent, and it is nice to see that the city is hoping to collect this money that is rightfully owed. Imagine not paying a bill since 2004. That guy is in some deep caca, no pun intended. And Catherine quickly updates and clarifies even businesses get a SEPAL bill. Again, I don't get a SEPAL bill, but that there you have it. Let's see what else we have. I see your very, very thoughtful comments about greedy landlords. Yes, it is complicated. I wish I knew what to tell you. You know, it is just sad. And you have oh, Kathy. Oh, hello, Kathy. Kathy here. In the Midwest, when you make initial conversation with people you don't know very well, people here always default to talking about the weather. Is that the same in Mexico? What do we talk about when things get awkward in the conversation? Well, everything seems to talk about the weather. Yeah, we talk about the weather. It is quite common to do that. I don't know if it is a pet peeve or not. My personal pet peeve about engaging in conversation with people you don't know is when people forget to even say good morning or good afternoon or do you have a second or is it a good time or so forth and so on. But that's just me. Lovely, lovely comments about the gorgeous flower. Yes, it looks like a double marigold, and maybe that's why the Aztecs called it what they called it, 20 flowers. Uh, I pinche Raymond. No, the Aztecs did not watch Wheel of Fortune. Imagine spelling that sucker. No, 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 no. Let's see what else. And then we have all your beautiful, beautiful comments about things that locals should do to become locals. I am going to collect these and organize these. And I thank you so much for your participation. We are gifting people, English speaking people, a good practical gift at the end of the year. Yes, we are. Let me skip through all of these because we've read most of them. Oh, but this is a good one. You're not a local until you have eaten chiles en nogada. Yum. Let's see what else we have. Da, 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 da. Uh, Lynn says that was fun. Love all you locals. Well, yes, absolutely. Oh my God, oh my God, so many of these are wonderful, wonderful suggestions. I love it. Does Michael Young intend to expand his professional activity in Puerto Vallarta? Michael seems to be too concerned at present time about making too much noise or too much sound while he practices at home. Um, but we told him last night, it's like, dude, this is a noisy town and people tend to be noisy. You can always be you can always knock on neighbor's door and say, hey, I'm about to do this, is it a good time or do you mind, etc., etc. I mean, it never hurts. Linda asks, can I be a local when I stay for 5 months? Linda, I think you are a local if your heart says my home is here. We don't have strict boundaries um, about who's a local and who's not a local. And it's not our place to rule specifically who's a local or who's not a local. But as you know, because you've been watching, we don't take kindly with questions or conversations that come from tourists that can be easily answered elsewhere. Our conversations sometimes get detoured to tourist related things. But for the most part, you know, As Kelly says, how many tourists do you know that have made a mad dash across Highway 200? you know, it's things like that. It is one of those things. And that's why we started Coffee and Headlines. And I think we've said this before. We started Coffee and Headlines because we wanted to find a place for ourselves, and a place that puts it that is a different place than the place where tourists are. So there we have it. Ba-dum-ba-beep-ba-boom-bam-bam. I think we're done. I think we're done. Unless I see any last minute cues coming up in the next couple of minutes, we are done with another broadcast, another Coffee and Headlines. In another week, we are getting closer to Thanksgiving. We're getting closer to Day of the Dead, which is not happening. We're getting closer to the fall season and many folks that call themselves expats returning. We are getting ready for the holidays. And hopefully, we are getting ready for a better time here in Puerto Vallarta than last December. Let us make sure that we keep our shit together and we continue to follow the guidelines. Between now and the next time I see you, which is not going to be tomorrow because it's my day off, I hope you have an amazing weekend. I hope you have a good time with your family and friends. I hope you'll stay kind and happy and safe, and that you'll stay in touch, and that you'll consider us whenever it's time to pay your bills. Oh my God, we don't charge for the privilege, but we welcome your membership and we welcome your contributions, because it is through those that we are able to be here every single day and make you smile. So there you go. Have a great Saturday, and I'll see you again soon. Ciao.